What's up, guys? M. Jones back in the house again for an in-theater review of Mud. Just recently saw it the other day and want to give you an in-depth review. First things first, Mud, it's a rated PG-13, 2 hours and 10 minutes length of film. It was directed by Jeff Nichols, who is very unknown, not really anything huge mainstream-wise. And for this to be his first movie, really to make his name out there, what a movie to make! I absolutely love this movie. I was all pumped for it. I saw Rotten Tomatoes for a while. It was at like a 98%, and like right now, currently, it's at a steady 99%, which is amazing. I mean, it's almost perfect. And I have to say, I finally agree with Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, their reviews are excellent on it, and the number 99%. It is perfect. It could easily be 100%. Really enjoyed the movie. The main cast. The main cast is Matthew McConaughey. He plays the part of Mud. That's his name. And other big names in the movie was like Reese Witherspoon. She played Juniper, who is Mud's love interest. Another big name would be probably Michael Shannon, who played Galen, who was the uncle to one of the boys, which I'll get into later. A few other bigger names, I would say maybe Sam Shepard, who I believe was in Dear John, as I think Channing Tatum's dad in Dear John. He played a guy named Tom Blankenship, who was a close friend to Mud. And there wasn't a lot of huge names in this movie, but there was a lot of really awesome character actors all throughout the years that came into this movie, and in my opinion, put their names a little bit more on the map than they have in probably the last 10 to 15, 20 years that they have been acting. But I will say this, I really love this movie. I was like so into it. From the first second that movie started to the last second it was when it got over, I was just like so enthralled in it. And it was very suspenseful, but not scary suspenseful, just like interesting suspenseful, like what is going to happen. Like I have to know. So let me give you a quick plot. A young boy, okay, his name's Ellis, and the actor's name is Ty Sheridan. And he is living right in Arkansas, right along a river. He and his dad, I think they catch fish, and they sell a lot of fish to like the public, that like in town, like where he's from. So they do a lot of traveling to sell fish that they catch, and they make that a business and stuff like that. Well, he and his friend Neckbone, who was played by Jacob Laughlin, who was an introducing role for this movie. They find this boat, I guess, that's in a tree, and they found it on one of the little islands where they're at, and they took their own boat to get over there, but this was like a real nice boat that just happened to like land in a tree, so they wanted to claim it. So they go up there, and they notice there's stuff there that seems pretty new, like there's bread that isn't stale yet, there's just certain cans of food there that just, why would it be there? It just seemed, everything seemed out of place, and what they pretty much inferred was someone lives here. Well, they're looking around like, let's get out of here, it's creepy. So when they do that to go back to their home in their boat, there's a man standing there just fishing. That was Mud. And, he was basically telling the boys, look, do you want to help me out or not? He never really threatened them, never really made them feel scared. He just said, look, if you can help me out with something, that'd be great. I can help you out. And they said, well, we want the boat. And he's like, well, if you help me out, I'll give you the boat. And that's how it pretty much all started. Now, there's so many different parts of the movie to really talk about, just because there's just so many aspects. There's love trouble with Ellis's parents. Neckbone really has no parents. He has an uncle. There's a lot of like ties with Tom, who's Sam Shepard, and you'll find out in the movie, why he knows Mud and what he really thinks about him. And you learn about Juniper, who's Reese Witherspoon. You're not sure if you like her. You think you do, then you think you don't, and that goes back and forth. It's just so twisty, but it was such a wonderfully written movie. The screenplay was very good. I really felt those actors weren't really acting. It was just, this was such a natural, raw emotion, and the fact that you didn't think they were acting just shows how good of an actor they really are. They made it look real. I really felt that I was watching, something that I think that could really happen in real life. So I just loved every aspect of the acting. The acting was superb. To get more into the two other characters, the boys, I didn't really talk about that yet, and I do want to talk about that. Ty Sheridan, who played Ellis, Very unknown actor. I think he's like 13 or 14 years old. He was in one movie pretty much that people know of called The Tree of Life, 2011 movie with Brad Pitt and Sean Penn. You know, that movie got really good reviews too, but he was in that. I didn't see it, so I don't know much about it. And then the other boy, Jacob Laughlin, he played Neckbone, which is a very strange name, but, you know, in the movie, no one really questioned it. You know, he would say, "Here's my buddy Neckbone." I'm like, "Oh, hi, nice to meet you." It wasn't anything like Neckbone. It was just actually just a cool thing they just passed and didn't really care about. But those two boys were superb in the movie, and I would say more so for Ty Sheridan's character Ellis. He was basically the main character in the movie because he was almost in every scene. And the kid, I know I'm not big on kid actors always to like high praise them, but this kid was excellent. You know, it had sort of the Winter's Bone kind of feel, like the very depressed and sad and what's going to happen and blah, 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 blah. Like if that Jennifer Lawrence character in Winter's Bone, he reminded me of just kind of like her. Very all about his family, all about morals, all about what's right. You know, don't do the wrong thing, do the right thing. You know, his character is a lot like Jennifer Lawrence's character in Winter's Bone. And check it out if you haven't seen it. And, you know, he was just excellent in the movie. But anyway, those boys, all throughout the movie, they just want that boat, like I was saying. And, you know, Mud's like, "Well, if you help me leave here," and they're like, "Why do you have to leave?" And he's like, "Well, I'm a fugitive." And it's like, oh my gosh, it's like, why is he a fugitive? You know, you'll find out. You know, why does he want to meet Juniper so bad? Because that's his true love. You know, he really does love her, and he wants to escape with her out from Arkansas and get away from basically someone that he killed. Now, I really can't tell you who he killed. I'd like you to see the movie because I could probably ruin it if I told you why. But he murdered somebody, and he was hiding out because of it. Well, the person he murdered actually had a pretty big family with power. So they come looking for him from Texas all the way to Arkansas. So, and you know, that was just another thing too. Like, you know, the people that came looking for him, one of my favorite character actors, Joe Don Baker. You're probably not sure who that is, but he's a real big Texan guy. He was in Cape Fear. I think he played, I forget who he played in Cape Fear, but he was awesome in that. He was in GoldenEye and Tomorrow Never Dies. It's, Jack Wade, I believe his name was. He's always kind of been in like movies where he was just like a boss or a sergeant. He's just a really big guy. And he has huge stature, and he's an awesome actor. I like everything about him. Just in this character, he was kind of like a cold-blooded guy. Didn't really care, sociopath, but like he was very quiet. You know, you had no idea what he was thinking, and he was trying to pretty much go after Mud or Matthew McConaughey in the movie. But just the whole aspect of that was just excellent. The whole movie was just really good, and I was so excited to see, you know, because I'm all about trying to figure out what time period movies are. You know, like I said, the past movie reviews I've given you, I've always said where I thought the movie was supposed to be depicted. Well, this movie was modern. It was just like yesterday, just like today. I saw a part in the movie where they're talking to Galen, or the boys were talking to Galen, who was Michael Shannon's character, and one of his slips or sheets or bills, whatever on his ottoman, said like dated like 2011, like 2012 something. So I was like, okay, it's modern time. And it seemed modern to me. But I always like to let you know when that is. I think that's important to know. And, you know, I really thought for some character actors, I was really like into Ray McKinnon. And you're probably wondering who Ray McKinnon is. You know, Ray McKinnon was the head coach for the high school football team on The Blind Side. You know, the Michael Oher story. He was that skinny guy who Sandra Bullock always put in place to make sure that Michael was getting, you know, justice to play and make sure he was playing the right position. And he was the head coach that you did like. He was a nice guy. Well, he was excellent in this movie. He was Ellis's dad, and his name was Senior. And he was kind of like, in the beginning you thought he was going to be a dick in the movie, but then after a while, he's actually a really cool guy. And, you know, I really liked his character. I thought he was wonderful. And his wife in the movie, who is Ellis's mom, her name in real life is Sarah Paulson, and I had no idea who she was. I had to look her up to figure out what she's been in. And she's always been just kind of a small character actor. She was in the 2000 film What Women Want, and I hated that movie. I thought the movie was terrible. And with Mel Gibson, I just didn't like that. But she was in that, but really she's known for American Horror Story. She's been in American Horror Story for probably 2 years now. So she's pretty widely known because of that show. But those two were really good. They've been character actors. I looked in their filmography. For years they've been character actors. Well, obviously, again, they played a character, but they were really good. I really thought they showed a lot of acting prowess. So all these characters I just really enjoyed. I thought they were wonderful. And everyone seemed to fit the roles. No one overacted. No one tried too hard. It seemed very natural. It seemed like, I bet on set everyone liked each other. There was just good, there was very good chemistry. There was very good everything for the movie. As in, care for the actors. Everyone seemed to probably get along, I think, on set. But I really love the movie. And I will say this. If you're wondering if it should be nominated for the Oscars, yes. If it doesn't win, it's definitely. Here's the thing. It's definitely going to be nominated. If it's not nominated, I am shocked. I am shocked because there better be at least 10 more movies better than this one for this year. Because if it's not nominated, I'd give up on anything Oscar. And if it is nominated, I'm going to say this right now. I think it's going to win. I've never seen a movie like this. The whole story was beautifully adapted. It's very, novel, something I haven't really seen before, and it just was so good. And Matthew McConaughey, no matter what, he always seems to make a movie really that much better. He's just a cool guy, and he was really, you really liked him in this movie. And there was parts where you weren't sure if you did like him, but then, really in your heart, you probably thought, this guy is a good guy. He just really, he just really is in a bad situation. But, the biggest thing I really enjoyed was how much Mud and the boy Ellis were kind of like each other in a way of how they grew up. So I really think you should watch that. Watch how they're very similar with each other. I really liked that. I thought that was cool how Ellis was starting to see, like, oh, this could be my life. And Mud was looking at Ellis like, man, that was who I was when I was a young kid. And I really liked that chemistry there. That was a very... they never talked about it, but you could see their acting was so good. You could see how both of them were kind of the same person, So Ellis and Mud, their scenes together were excellent. Now, for my favorite actor in the movie or actress, I would have to give it to Ellis, who was his real name is Ty Sheridan, the young 14-year-old boy. He was in almost every scene, and he was good. He wasn't a bad actor whatsoever. He was excellent. I really thought he was good. A close second to me probably would have been Matthew McConaughey, but I really loved Ellis's character. I thought he was a great pick for this movie, and he might be pretty good. I think he might be, hopefully not just be a child actor, but actually move up into the adult ranks for acting roles. And I just really enjoyed him. I thought he was good. I thought he was just a wonderful actor. So I'm anxious to see how the movie does when the Oscars come around again, like next February, because I really think this movie's going to hit big. I really do. So if I'm going to give myself the rating, which I always like to finish up with, and I now switched from 1 to 10 to 1 to 5, I'm going to give this movie a 5 out of 5. I just loved it so much. I really did. I cannot wait to buy it on Blu-ray and just watch it over and over, because there was so many things I think I missed that I think I would probably appreciate more if I kept watching again. So I highly suggest this movie. Probably the best movie I've seen so far that I've reviewed on here for you guys, and I can't say enough about it. So good. So again, I appreciate watching the whole video, and keep watching, subscribing, of course. And if you want to comment, please comment. I love to hear what you guys think. I like to know what you think of the movie if you did see it. I always like to see what you think. So until then, you take it easy and bye.